Okay, I'm going to show you how to light up a little LED using a breadboard and a ESP32. So on here I got the extension board for this, but I'll show both ways in case you don't have that. The extension board basically just makes it easier, gives you more room to work with, and then both of these rails, the power and the ground rails, it will power those up without wires. So first you just want to, if you have this, get this guy, line up the pins and push that down in there. Okay, so the little light is pretty easy. You can put it pretty much anywhere you want. What you really want to focus on is this way, the rows, those connect, not this way so much. So you can really put this anywhere you want, but we're just gonna give us a little room to work with. We want the long end. There's like this shorter end, long end. We want the long end towards the extension board. We're gonna put it down here. And just plug it in, 2 different slots. And the only other things you're gonna need for this is just 2 wires, 2 random male to male ends. The color doesn't matter too much. I know a lot of the time the black is ground and red is for power. If you want to keep that going, that's fine. But it really, the electronic's not gonna care what color. So first, I'm gonna plug it into 15, which is right here, and any of these here are the 15 because it's like the whole row, and then end at like 25. So we need to connect this to this with the resistor because LED needs the 220. This is a 220 resistor. It needs a higher current with lower resistance, so it needs the smaller resistor. And you basically just, where this is, I have this I didn't cut this down, but where that is, you keep it in the same row. You do it right next to it. And then where the LED is, right in that first slot for the LED. So now this, since it's connected by the rows, this and they're in the same row, so they're connected. This first light end and the other resistor end, they're in the same row, so they're connected. Then you just need the ground, which just put it in the row. It's hard to do that through the camera. The same row as the second. So here it's 30. And it's just the same row as that, and then this will go here. The blue rail has the ground, so it's gonna go to the ground on the rail. That's where you have to start to do the coding. And once that works, once the code works, then I'll show you without the extension board. Okay, so now when you want to get your LED light running, you need to write a little bit of code. I have the Arduino IDE, which is free. You can download that. I can link it, or you could just Google it if you don't want to click mysterious links in my description. And I have the code written here. It's real easy. I'll copy paste that into the description too, so you could copy that if you want. But I'll explain it really quick. First thing, just define your LED light what number that it's on the board. So 15 or whatever you chose. If you chose 2, 0, whatever. But if you just went with 15, just write 15. And then everyone needs this setup and loop. The loop can be empty, but they need both of these. So you want to choose this, write this setup as pinMode, the LED light, and output. And then for the loop, you want to write the light to be low, and then for 500, wherever this is, and then it'll be high the next 500, whatever that is, milliseconds, seconds. That would be a really long time. Milliseconds or something. You can change this. If you do 1000, then like this will blink longer. High, it'll be brighter for longer. You can change them both, doesn't matter. You can change them to whatever you want. If you do like, say you do like 10, it's gonna blink real fast. Real quick. But just mess around with it. That's the fun of it. That's how you learn. Just messing around with these things. And then to run this, you want to go up to Tools. And where it says Board, you want to choose your ESP32, the dev module. If you look here and you don't have ESP32 showing up right there, just follow these instructions. So you'd want File Preferences, and then Additional Boards Manager, which is at the bottom here, and then just copy, well, I guess you can't copy, but https://raw.github-user-content.com /esp32/gh-pages-package_esp32_index.json. Put that in the URL. Click OK. Go to the manager. It's been a minute since I did this. Search this. Download that. Restart this. All right, now you can be able to do it. Mine, I just chose the regular dev module because I have the rover module. But when I chose that, it wouldn't work. So I was going to figure that out later when the time comes. Then you're gonna need the port number, which port is connected to, which mine's not plugged in right now. To find that, okay, you want to go to this PC. Right click, open up your file explorer, then find this PC. Right click, hit manage, and then in this area here, you'll see this device manager. You want to open that up and find ports. I don't have mine plugged in right now, but let's plug it in. It should look something like this. USB serial chaff 3 com 6. It's usually 7. I have my mic plugged in to the usual port, but mine's usually 7. But whatever this says, whatever this number here says, when you go to Tools and Port, that's what you want to pick. If it doesn't show up, it should. If you have this Arduino, I can't say this, IDE, if you have this, when you download it, it'll like automatically install all of the drivers that you need for it. So, it should be working. Okay, now, if you have that ready, you want to hit, there's this here, these buttons right here, this middle one that says upload. Once you have your USB plugged in to your device in this setup, you hit upload, and then it'll do all this fun stuff here. It'll start doing this, it'll do its connecting, and then it'll start printing all this good things. Once it gets to right here, your thing should be working. If you have red somewhere, I always forget like one of these little guys, and I get red. But this, it's really simple unless you didn't spell something right, or, you know, I do that a lot too. Forget a letter. the LED should run. So now we have this, plug it into there, and then it's plugged into the computer. And then I had this running already because I had a code running. So just pretend like it's not working. Oh, there it goes. So now we will just, since it's plugged in, the light's on, this is on, we upload the code, the light should turn on and off. It'll blink. And now it's blinking. And you can mess with it a little bit. If you look at the code, there's like delay. You can change that delay to like 1,000. It'll blink slower, or you know, the lower the number, the faster the light will blink. Higher the number, slower. And that's it. That's how to make that blink. That's using the extension board. Now I'll show without the extension board. Get this little guy. This is why there's like that extension board, because this thing takes up a lot of space. Like, once you put it in, it doesn't want to fit in very well either. You have like one row, or whatever, one column. Which, not a lot of room. Not the greatest to work with. But since we're just using one LED, you can take these grounds and the powers and supply the rails. But you could just, since you're just using one, just plug it straight into one of the grounds. Remember the LED light, the long end goes towards the machine. I'm looking through the camera. Goes towards the machine. We'll plug this little resistor in here, like that. In the row with the first LED's pin. Plug this guy in to this first row here with the resistor. So you can see how that's like that, and then we want to go to 15, which is hard to, there, look dead on, there's 15. You could do 2, 4, 0, and those other ones, the numbered ones as well, but if you do 2, it's the same number as what if this has an onboard LED, it's the same one that uses, so it'll do some funky little things. And then we need our ground. So it's in the same row as the second pin for the LED. But remember, we went over here last time, but this time instead we're gonna use one of these grounds. And then the same thing. The code, everything is exactly the same as the other way, the code for the other one. Unless you did something different than that 15. But you just plug it back in and it should just start to work. Blinking. Flash, okay. And that's how that works without the extension board. But you can see the extension board gives you a lot more room to work with. You don't have to plug it in all the way to the end like this. I just did, so I had all this space to work with. And once it was there, I kind of crammed it in, so it's kind of stuck there right now. And that's how you get the LED to flash. Oops.